Hi everybody, my name's Kevin. I'm a reference librarian at Reed Memorial Library. Today I'm going to talk about Chronicling America. Chronicling America is a free online database of historic newspapers. It includes over 3,000 titles from across the United States and covers the years 1789 to 1963. The database is maintained by the Library of Congress and it was started in 2005. They're adding new material to it every year, so there's always new stuff to check out. It's a great place to look for any kind of historic research you're doing or just to browse through because it's pretty much amazing what you can find in there just browsing through the historic newspapers. There's always interesting stuff that I come across that I'm not even looking for. It is very good for any kind of research in the United States and particularly Ohio. Ohio is really well represented with over 150 different newspapers. There are Ravenna newspapers included. There's 5 different newspapers from Ravenna. They're all from the second half of the 19th century. They are the Western Courier, the Portage Sentinel, the Portage County Democrat, the Ohio Star, and the Democratic Press. And the Democratic Press in particular covers the years 1868 to 1895, so just by itself it covers a ton of information. Looking a little bit outside of Ravenna, there's the Cleveland Leader, the Mahoning Dispatch, the Western Reserve Chronicle from Warren, and also the Columbus Dispatch. So a lot of amazing Ohio stuff to research. And the URL is down at the bottom of the screen there, so you guys can check it out. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what this is like. So this is chroniclingamerica.loc.gov. And basically, you can do a simple search. You can just look at all the states, and it gives you a range of years. You can look anywhere 1789 to 1963. And just type your keyword search in there, and it's going to show up the results down here at the bottom. So what I'll do to start with is just do a basic search. I'm going to narrow it down to Ohio. I'll choose our state from the list there. And then I'm just going to enter Ravenna, so that helps it narrow it down a little bit more. I'm going to look for circus, because there's a number of circuses that went through Ravenna, and it's just a fun thing to look for. Of course, you can type in whatever you want there. I've used it for researching the glass companies or Quaker Oats and all the different companies in Ravenna's 19th century history. So I'm going to hit go here. And it shows 10 different results. It says Ravenna Circus. And then what you'll see is those keywords are actually highlighted in red in most cases here, so you can just narrow it down to what you're looking for. So I'll just click on one here. This is Democratic Press, May 25th, 1871, and even you see the page there, it says page 3. So not every highlighted word is going to be what you're looking for, so a lot of times you'll just say Ravenna, but then you scroll down to where it has more of the words here. There's a whole article. Here's a circus, and it's mentioned coming to Ravenna. It will be seen by reference to our advertising Sheldonberger's European Menagerie and Circus, June 5th. It says they're going to have a live rhinoceros. And then also over here on the side, you can see they're advertising it as the advance of the monarch, the great unicorn. So that's what they're trucking around. It's the rhinoceros. A lot of times the advertisements are more interesting than the stories. You can just read the different claims they have. Also, they have the most wonderful of performers, the human serpent. So that would have been something to check out. But this is just an example of what you can look for. There's, any number of things, and half the time, like I was saying, you'll come across something that's more interesting than what I was looking for originally. So this is just a basic search. Let me show you how to do more of a browse feature. So if you're doing a search, you can do it here. If you want to browse through, you can just go to the top where it says all digitized newspapers. And if you click on that and then go to Ohio, it's going to show you just different Ohio newspapers. So it'll bring up a list. So these are all alphabetical. It's got Akron up at the top there, Ashtabula, Butler. And if I want to just look for the Ravenna papers, I can just do a keyword, Control F on the keyboard, and I'll look up Ravenna. And it says there's 7 different matches. So here's the Democratic Press, Ohio Star, Portage County Democrat, Portage Sentinel, Weekly Portage Sentinel, and then the Western Courier. So those are the different Ravenna papers. So if you just want to browse through there, you can click on one of those titles. And then over on the side here, go to Calendar View. And then this will show the days of the week that the newspaper was published and also the ones that are available, because it's not going to have every issue. It's going to have whatever was available at the time they digitized them. And you can see a lot of the papers back then were just weekly. So this one in particular is published on Thursdays, due May 4th, 1837. And you'll see it's only 4 pages long too. So you can go through it page by page and then read through and see if there's anything interesting just for fun. If you didn't want to do the search, you can just browse through. If you're looking for something that happened on a particular date, like maybe that was a significant day somewhere else, so you know of an event you can look for. Here's lately married, so you can look for marriage records, obituaries, just anything like that. Some of the older ones are harder to read, but most of them are pretty good scans. Another thing to keep in mind with these old newspapers is sometimes the first page is just kind of the national news, and you have to really dig into the middle of the newspaper before you get to the local stories. So I'm going to click on page 2. You'll see what's going on here. It's like some interesting stories here still. This is more national news, so I'm going to go to page 3. Okay, so here's something where it looks like it might be local. I'm talking about Portage County in particular, the commissioners. And it's good if you're looking for names, you can just type in the name into the keyword search. Then a lot of times also the advertisements are just as interesting as the stories, like I was saying. So somebody selling lamp oil, Mason and Company, administrator's sale. So you can come across stories that you weren't even looking for, and it's just, once again, a lot of fun just to browse through and see what's there. Students, it's a good way to impress your teachers. If you're doing a research project, you can just look for that name in the search box and then see what shows up. At the back arrow here again. And the other thing I was saying, it's not just Ravenna, it's not just Ohio. You can look at pretty much any state. There's national news from everywhere. You can just leave it blank, all states. If you want to look up moon landing, there's probably going to be something that shows up. Well, probably not since it goes to 1963, but it will give you some results here. So here's a little story about the frontiers of science, orbital rendezvous. So this is talking about going around the moon. So this was the space age. You can see there's a lot of fun stuff you can look up. Even the comic strips, Little Orphan Annie, there's Blondie, So if you just want to go through and read the comics there too, that's always fun. Here's Peanuts from 1963. And so that's just a quick overview. I don't want to make this video too long. But if you have any questions, just post them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks guys, have a good day.